A Journey to the Grove by Freya Greenwood. My heart had lived under a hawthorn tree, and the fairies they danced and spoke to me, to always trust the wisdom of the dead, and never did I disagree, for the fairies are a part of me. I draw up energy like the roots of a tree, sipping the deep nutrients of the earth as I walk to the crossroads. It is through this daily ritual that I attune myself to the earth underneath my feet. This is the rhythm of the seasons as they pass, rooted in the land I walk. Milkweed, clover, coneflower. Spirit-led initiations are odd, and I find myself sitting in the between place of omen. I receive answers through a drop of blood upon the moon, and I had been tending these roots diligently for years now, and things were finally slotting into place. The hagstone hangs from my neck, a symbol of the threshold, pocket-sized and always with me. The worm wears its way through, always. That is the part of the sacred compost cycle, where we are made and unmade. It is all seen through the eye of the stone. Three forms, she stands at the threshold, waiting. She is their daughter, in a sense, still learning the ropes of what is and what was. But this newness does not make her young. Standing within the paradox, she learns to shape herself in a way to guard and guide. She is neither her ancient Greek counterpart, though she is represented by coyotes as a dog. She is close to the Sisters of Ireland, and is all-seeing battle crow. Through the winds of the boreal north, she comes down as the battle maiden, the lover all in one, and therefore she is represented by the serpent, coiling deep into the below. She is all of them, and none of them. She is the child that took shape from the three. Sight beyond sight. Bone honesty at the crossroads. Transformation cycles onward. Our Lady beneath sits in the hole of the hagstone, perpetually guarding the threshold she holds so dear. She is the space in between. She is the one who rests underneath the roots, constantly shedding her skin, and making and unmaking, perpetually stuck between transitions. As mistress of mushrooms, she watches over the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. She is death made warm, and gives sight through honesty, not comfort. Holding within her the sacred and the dangerous, she moves and governs the passage of time. She is attended to by mothers, healers, and children, and has a trickster's humor with the messenger's honesty. Our Lady beneath likes to protect what is hers. Crow-seeing, looks through the eye of the threshold. She is a sister who sees from above. The world on the other side is coming, the pattern that is revealed to one who watches from above. The hagstone is her eye. Her element is air, her color white, her symbol the open eye or the single feather. She is offered water placed at a threshold or a crossroads, bones left in high places, and silence offered in the moment before a difficult truth is spoken. Coyote Crossing walks through the door. She is the sister who stands at the crossing. The threshold itself, the moment between this side and that, the change that happens in the act of passing through. The hagstone is her door. Her element is earth, her color black. Her symbol the fork in the road or a single footprint. She is offered coins left at the crossroads, tobacco, strong drink, red thread, and brief fire. Serpent circling coils beneath. She is the sister of the depths. The dark earth the threshold opens down into. The underworld that waits below every crossing. The coiled wisdom that remembers what the surface has forgotten. The hagstone is her grave. Her element is sea, her color red. Her symbol the coil. She is offered tears or wine poured into the earth. Milk, hagstone water, blood in small measure, and bones buried deep. Iron is not offered to her. She does not promise safety. She promises presence. She does not make the crossing for you. You must walk. She does not take away the grief. She sits with you in it. She does not answer every prayer. Some she simply stays beside you through. The sisterhood had formed a covenant with the Bear Maiden. the huntress in the moonlight, as well as the running underneath, the Hare Lord in his many-faced guise of the crossroads. All are part of the court of faerie. The Hare Lord is never still, preferring to weave to and fro constantly, unceasingly, and cyclically. But he is never lost. Knowing how to navigate is integral to running so fast. He carries messages between the worlds. He is never steady, but always grounded. The huntress seeks out beneath the greenwood. She wears the pelt of something much older than any of us. Under the moonlight she gives her wild devotion. She knows how to track and trace the wildwood down to its loamy soil. She never forgets and never backs down. The Thorn Maiden helps me in my work with my lady, and through the steeping of herbals, oils, and brews do I complete the work ahead of me. There is always work to be done, and keeping myself busy is part of it. The work is slow going, and it takes patience. This is a long growing process I am learning how to navigate. Clay took the shape of a vessel this past May, where my hands gently flowed this way and that, taking the shape of a small pot and painted green. I do not let perfection be the death of the good. I use what I have, and what I have is a deep green fountain pen ink, named after the Japanese pine tree. The vessel is her home. I fill it with this and that, markings of the land we both live on, a stone to function as its heart, and all the herbs and plant matter I can forage or have a deep connection with. She teaches me how to use what I have, and through the infusion, these workings are born. Through my workings with her, she's taught me a lot about the art of green sorcery. I light a candle atop her vessel. I petition her with fairy cakes, honey, and unsalted butter. She answers with glee. I ask of her to show me the way through a recipe and begin to write. She answers through my hands. The Thorn Maiden is the spirit of the greenwood that I summoned into that vessel. She is one of the good folk and has been around me longer than I initially thought, first taking the shape of a bottle vessel I had made years ago, not really knowing why I did so. Sometimes she will tell me what phases of the moon to work with, which stars to call upon. She is what's known as a star worshipper. Fairies oftentimes are. It is very hard to classify the gentlefolk, and my ways of doing so involve determining their affinities, behavioral patterns, and getting to know them by their many names. The Thorn Maiden has revealed several names to me so far. Some are private and are meant to be spoken in hushed tones. Some are loud, commanding, and star-shooting into the distance. Her casual name is something along the lines of Honeyquick, though she has many more private names for her kin. Fairy cakes, half a part unsalted butter, 3 parts flour or oats, 2 parts brown sugar, a wide dash of milk, hawthorn berries, elderberries. Combine ingredients in a ritual bowl until a smooth dough forms, adding milk and flour as needed. Stud with 1 hawthorn berry per cake, surrounded by 7 elderberries. Bake at 350 Fahrenheit for approximately 10 minutes. Do not consume fairy food. After dark, especially at the threshold hours, twilight, midnight, the hour before dawn, I keep your voice low. Do not shout curses or boasts into the night air. Do not call out names into the dark. The good neighbors hear what is said at the edges, and they may answer in ways you did not intend. Hawthorn, Shulk refers to as the Lady of the Vale of Elfame. She is also known as Whitethorn, and is one of the most prolific of the fairy trees. Her blossoms form a portal to the other world. Her berries provide nourishment for the heart, and her thorns are great guardians of the beyond. These trees are known to stand at the edges of the other world, and to sleep underneath one is to dream of Elfame, or Tir Nanog, home of the good folk. They are also said to dwell beneath the hills. The other world is oftentimes described as being underground. Are the dead fairy? It has long been established in Irish fairy folklore that once you die you become fairy, and you join their night processions. Fairies can be ascended ancestors, heroes, as well as spirits that have never incarnated in a mortal body. I do not keep a taxonomy of the good folk. The ones who work with me have introduced themselves. The ones who haven't, I leave to their own business. Classification from a book is not the same as knowing, and knowing happens at the offering bowl, not the index. The birds rise around 5 a.m. It is when I walk the crossroads on my daily vigil. It is this crossroad, not that one. It is important that it is local to you and known to your body physically. My practice is rooted in the land, the Oshana Zibi, as the Anishinaabe call it, the Willow River. This is non-transferable to the work, for it is the rain that taps on our roofs, not the land, as a perfect spiritual and colonial concept, but the runoff that flows into the Great Lakes, the fresh water that feeds us. Nature hums and calls on the iron horse, and the trail is so alive during all the seasons as they transition and pass. Goldenrod and aster in the heat of the harvest, sumac and aspen, walnut and ash, beloved cedar. Here, the waters bring a deep chill to the earth, and the dieback is just as important part of the cycle as the wild growth is. To live here is to embrace the seasons as they change. The chill of winter is just as important as the heat of summer. On the threshold between water and land grows an unassuming bush. It is found in bogs, marshes, and slow-moving northern rivers. Sweet Gale gives her roots to the water, and her branches towards the sky. She thrives in the between and belongs to the boreal Atlantic. And then there is my beloved cedar. Real cedar, not Virginia juniper. Thuja occidentalis. It is also known as aboravitae, or the tree of life. Her wood is strong and doesn't rot. Every part of her is medicine, and it is important to treat her with respect and honor. I burn cedar as an offering to the dead, to please them, as well as to protect my space. Its smell is intoxicating. I do what I can to build a relationship with Sema, sacred tobacco, but all I can acquire that is of good quality is backwoods. I like to think my spirits accept it graciously, for it is still tobacco at heart. My father is Hmong, from the highlands of Laos, a homeland very far from here. In the mountains where the Mekong begins its long journey south, he came after the secret war that devastated his people, after the CIA's alliance in the refugee camps in the Long Crossing. The Hmong community in Kitchener-Waterloo carried him, and he met my mother, and they made me. So I am the place where two rivers meet, one that has been flowing through this land since before anyone called it anything, and one that was forced from its mountain watershed and found a new one here. The threads that run through this land are ancient, yet new. The Anishinaabe thread is ancient. The grandmother cedar was a seedling when my mother's ancestors first walked the trail by the Schneider. The Hmong thread is new to this ground, but the Hmong have their own ancientness, their own relationship with a different watershed, their own spirits of mountain and forest and river that I carry with me, even if I have never stood in those highlands. The land here does not reject that. No person is illegal on stolen land. Not all that blooms here is native anymore. People brought bits of home with them when they came here, and they learned to grow and thrive despite the unfamiliarity. The land accepts them as their own, for even a tradition of the land can learn to love someone who comes from somewhere else. As long as mutual love and respect is given, balance is achievable. Amaranth, hibiscus, okra. I come from several cultures, indigenous, Hmong, German, English. I see from all angles what it's like to be part of the displaced diaspora, as well as those who've lived here originally. It's complicated, and these days people are obsessed with sorting things into neat little boxes and categories, which is hard when you break all those lines just by mere existence. Shi Yi sits and shares the table with Nana Bozu, who shares space with the Ao Si, who are vast and have cousins all over the world. Stories of little people who live in the hills, mischief makers, tricksters, and great shamans who have all earned a place at my altar. I used to resent being a mongrel, but now I embrace it as a sign of humanity's future. One where we can set aside our differences and break bread with one another. There is more that unites us than what divides us. My mother is Anishinaabe and German-British. The threads she carries through this land are ancient, the original people of this watershed, and the ones who knew the Grand River before it had that name, who walked these trails for generations before anyone built a house on them. And also the ones who came later, the German and British settlers who plowed and built and stayed. That complexity is in my blood too, and yet I am here now. This land holds me. The creek runs past my house. The water I drink is the same water that fell as rain on the gravel and filtered through the limestone and rose again from the well. I am part of this watershed, the way all my ancestors are part of it. The ones that were here for millennia, and the ones who arrived last week, and the ones who will come after. The land does not care about the paperwork of ancestry. It cares about presence. It cares about attention. It cares about the fact that I keep showing up on the trail season after season, watching what it does. So I claim this tradition as born from this land, not because the land spoke and I transcribed, but because the land is the tradition. The watershed is the liturgy. The frost line, the theology. The plant that grows on the edge of the trail is the scripture, written fresh every spring. Spirit fox of the beloved forest's edge, who knows the path through the wild, who stands where the tree meets the wildwood. You, who are the root, the seed, the stalk, and the branch, keeper of cunning medicine and poison, witness to bounty and blight, patron of meadows and marshlands, forest, garden, and grove, grant me audience and aid. I call you forth, O cunning fox, as a seeker of your wisdom and revelation, that I may be aided in magic and medicine, that I may be both steward and student of your mysteries. Hail to you, forest guardian. Hail to you, devil of the grove. Hail to you, O cunning one. First, you do not create a hagstone. You find one, as the water has to do the work, and water takes time. Patience is built into the stone itself. How to find a hagstone? Look upon riverbeds. Look upon riverbeds after it rains, where the river meets a lake or the ocean, beaches and shorelines. Take only what speaks to you. Do not take other people's workings. Do not pay someone for a hagstone. The finding is part of the work. Before you start looking, stand at the water's edge and say aloud or in your chest, I am not here to take what isn't offered. I am here to see what the lake has finished with. Stone that has let water through, show me your door. Turn your pockets inside out. Let the sand fall back. You are not collecting, you are receiving. This distinction matters. Walk the shore at a pace slower than you think you should. Do not scan the ground like you are searching. Instead, let your gaze rest just past the stones, at the space between pebbles, the gap where a stone isn't. The hagstone's hole is a negative space. You find it by looking at what isn't there. If your eye keeps catching on a particular stretch of shore, stop. Crouch. Don't pick anything up yet. Just look at the stones within arm's reach. The one that wants to be found will have a particular stillness, like it's been waiting for you to stop moving so it can finally be seen. When you pick one up, hold it to your eye. Look through the hole and say, through this door, I see what is. Through this door, I see what was. Through this door, I see what could be. Then, here is the important part. Turn it over in your hand and ask it, what brought you here? What wore you through? Don't answer for the stone. Just hold the question. Listen a moment. Then slip it into your pocket if it feels right, or set it back where you found it if it doesn't. Carry it with you in your left pocket. The left hand is the hand of the witch, the threshold, the shadow, and the offering. This means that the crossroads are always with you. Over time, the carrying of the hagstone builds a relationship with it. The stone warms through your body. The hole becomes familiar under your thumb. And after a while, it becomes more than just a stone you carry and part of the working itself. The hagstone as a traveling charm. The same stone you carry through daily life can be something else entirely when you cross a border you have never crossed before. A hagstone on the long journey is a traveling charm, not just a threshold you carry, but a door you can open from anywhere. Called between the boundaries of land, sea, and sky, the saucerating other place we long to see, feel, and touch. Learning to interact with these places by being and by doing takes time. The early morning is a gateway to this place as well. Dig deep into the soil and find the truth, blessed with loam and with peat. The beneath of the grove is where the magic happens, crawling, writhing in pleasure do the worms dance in the garden soil, where the throes of life begin and end. I am not the sun. I am not the fire. I am the hand that counts the spaces between. O great crow of the other skies, through the hollow of the stone I see you. Crow voice, echoed in between, you whom are the unmaker of certainties. Speak what I cannot bear, and let me hear it. Breath between names, you hold me under your wing. White-veiled, let me not see everything at once. Threshold mouth, for your words are the gate I walk through. O great prophetic wound, the cut that sees, let me pass through the world unscathed. Screamer at noon, in the bright hour you cry to remind me who I am. Strip away the riddle and leave me with what's real. Our Lady beneath, hollowed through the stone, meet me where the paths divide and meet and divide again, at the crossroads. I am the creature whom is shedding. I do not know what comes after. Our Lady beneath, hollowed through the stone, open the gate so that I may pass through your mysteries. Coyote of the dirt under the nail, I carry the ground with me. Beloved crossroads keeper, where the path dissolves, hold the gate open. Gravedigger, loosen the dirt on what I have buried too carefully. Bone collector, gather what I have lost and keep it safe for when I am ready. True-hearted coyote, wear through what is solid and let the trickster unmasked dance in joy and love. Dearest rot that grows, show me the way through the green mysteries. Coyote, laugh at the edge of things. Show me that I am still here and let me feast at the border of your crossroad. Our Lady beneath, you are whom the green pulse in the dark earth. You whom are the serpent that wears through stone. I do not only hollow, I also sweeten. Let what I lose become food. Let what stays become honey. I am also the wholeness within. Our Lady beneath, dweller in the holy well, receive me. Let my skin shed away. Let my memory return. Let the water rise. Well, dweller, at the bottom of your dark water do I feel. Skin shedder, leave the husk and never look back. Do not try to put it on again. Beloved memory in the dark, keep what I have forgotten and return it when I am ready to receive. Coil at the center, always waiting. Serpent's tongue, Fork my speech and let me reveal what is beautiful and what is true. Salt and blood, the lake inside of me, the tide I cannot refuse. Red-eyed at the threshold, weep and watch, for the gate is almost open. Wholly well filled, as the water rises, I am not empty forever. Worn through return, I have passed through the hole in the stone. May I love on the other side of the mirror. Our Lady beneath, I am yours while I am in between. When I am something else, remind me where I came from. Do not let me forget the hole in the stone. The dirt from the 3 graves remembers. The snake shed remembers. The water that wore through remembers. I remember. Our Lady beneath, hollowed of the stone, the wearing is within you. Blessed are you in the between lands, and blessed is the red eye through the needle's edge. Watch over me, who is always shedding my skin, now and at the hour of our dissolution, so wear the stone through. After a long day, the firefighter leans in to rest. The wildfires choking the air, and yet his hands, like branches, reach up to the sky the way he tends to her domain. Even through the fire and the flames, the woods will remain.